Hello everybody, welcome to Escapable Talk. Before closing David and Goliath book, Welcome has an afterword to tell you. Let's listen to our discussion about the last part of the book. And if you like it, please let us know by subscribing it. Enjoy your day.
We come to the end, the AfterWord. I think it's really worth another chapter. It's a really good afterword that Malcolm writes here. And in it he talks about Vietnam and how two people with supposedly the same data came to completely opposite conclusions. Obviously one person was right, one person was wrong. And unfortunately the wrong person was followed here and Vietnam had a huge war. It's been many years since then. Life has changed in Vietnam. I've been there since. It's a vibrant place. It's a wonderful place. Many foreigners love it. But I think the idea is very simple here. And that's that people see what they want, even given the same data. I'll give you an example from my medical career. I remember in residency there was one difficult case that nobody could really diagnose. My attending was one of these smart doctors, very proud of his medical knowledge, and he thought he knew what it was, vitamin B12 deficiency. He took us to the lab to look at the smear ourselves, to look at the blood cells under the microscope. He says, "Look, don't you see it?" And we weren't really sure what we were supposed to be seeing. We weren't very good at this, but we thought it looked pretty normal. But he told us, no, these are polysegmented neutrophils. This is a vitamin B12 deficiency. He ended up being wrong. It was porphyria, a very rare disease. And that's a difficulty in the medical field. You come to this data. Everybody has the same data. And, you're not really sure what it is, but you think you know what it is. And more data come in, and it just confirms your suspicion that you were right in the first place. When in actuality, you may be wrong. But we're blinded by hubris, by pride. We don't like being wrong, and we ignore the data that doesn't support our argument, and we clamor for more data that does support our argument. We change the data that doesn't really support it into data that does support it. What's the problem? Sight. How you see things. How you see through things. I remember watching a movie called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children that talks about how important sight is. There's a boy, Jacob, who thinks he has no special abilities, like all these other children, some who could fly. Miss Peregrine, she could change into a bird, she could freeze time. And he just didn't seem to be able to do anything. Except later they discovered he was able to see the monsters that nobody else could see. Which makes it much easier to attack and kill the monster if you could see them, right? It was so hard for the rest of them. But he has his sight. Sure, he doesn't have any, quote, special ability. Except for sight. He can't attack the monster. He doesn't have super strength. But he's the key to defeating the monster. And I think Malcolm Gladwell in his book has shown us sight. He looks at these stories. He digs deep into them. He reinterprets them and shows us what we're missing all along. And my takeaway point is not just the lessons that Malcolm has taught us in David and Goliath, but to also have sight, to see further than just what normal people see, to dig through the surface, and to be able to figure out what's really going on. What lessons can I learn from this classic age-old story called David and Goliath?